Peace, 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 family. We got a lot to unpack this lovely, lovely day of the sun. The brothers is shining bright today. I mean, I get a little more excited every time I get to connect with someone I guess I knew longer than I knew, but I knew. You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know. If you know, you know. But nevertheless, we have a lot to unpack. We don't want to take too much time up on the intro. With no further ado, I'm getting my brother, man, the mission, the purpose, Adewale, fresh to the stage. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Hold on. I think you muted. There you go. Boom.
We unmic now, man. How y'all doing? How y'all living? Thank you for having me again.
Yes. On this Sunday. See, I have a good feeling that Sundays is going to be one of them days we really go to put some things together. And it's interesting. I was scrolling on Facebook earlier today, and my uncle, who is a pastor, I woke up early enough to catch his sermon. He airs it on Facebook, and I was just like, wow, it's just so full circle. Like, I remember growing up, I wanted to be a pastor. Like, I remember there was a time I wanted to be able to talk to people spiritually. I was 4 or 5 years old with the Bible opened up, trying to read it on like the leg exercise, and that was like my pulpit. Like, I put a blanket over it, like it was my full pulpit. Y'all go sit down. We ain't going to church. I'm having church. So it's just interesting because like this is the new church. This is the new alignment and gathering of the masses and masters of intellectual inner and outer understanding, which is originally what I feel like church should have been. So we got some church today. Adewale, Q Reeves, we in this thing. Today's topic, the halls of Amenti and the shadow within, turning darkness into divine power. I'm going to let you set it off, brother, and I'm going to kind of chime on in.
Indeed. So to go deeply in this topic, we're going to talk about some things. First, we're going to talk about the halls of Amenti. Why is this place significant, and what is it trying to show us collectively? Mm-hmm. The halls of Amenti is a place where stargates are created. Mm-hmm. The halls of Amenti is a place where you can create vortexes. You can create a lot of things. This is the original library that's in ancient Egypt, ancient Kemet in Africa, or some people call it Alchemy. You see, This is a place that other Anunnaki beings created with a being called Thoth. I also want you guys to critically think, and I want you guys to sit with, is Thoth a being? Oh, these a bunch of beings. Is like Thoth a being, or this is a collective of beings? Because if you read the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, it talks about how it says he wasn't the only one who created this. So that means he was doing this with other people too. So this place, halls of Amenti, it talks about a deep technology of the Thoth code. The Thoth code is when you be able to transfer your consciousness and be in different bodies but have the same soul. So Thoth was able to do this, and he was able to be a person named Kronos, Hermes, and I forgot the other person, but he was in 3 bodies all at the same time.
3-body problem. You know that Netflix show? 3-body problem. They're talking about 3 bodies, 3 suns that are influencing one singularity. I like how you put that all together because that's what comes to my mind. Like, 3-body problem. Okay, my bad. I didn't mean to cut the
you good. No, you good. Hold on. It's a line for sure.
All right, hold on. Look at this though, because instantly when you were like, is Thoth a singular being or a collective? Instantly what popped in my brain was the thought bubble. You know, when we're all in school. All right. So if you see, like right here, here's a better example of it. All right. It's a little one, and then it gets bigger, and then it gets bigger, and then it gets the biggest. And that's kind of like what you're talking about. It is the gathering until you become a larger mass. Like I like how you put that down. That's what popped in. All right, keep building, brother. Keep building.
Because the Thoth Code, they also showed us this in a movie called X-Men Apocalypse. The blue bean in that movie, when they went down in the pyramids, they actually went down. That was the halls of Amenti in X-Men. They already showed the movie of this. Now it's proven in real time in this Earth timeline. But this energy in X-Men, it was a blue being. They went down in the pyramids and he was transferring his conscious with a different being. And then it stopped. It was a fight. And then millions years later, he was awakened again. And he met Professor X, who Professor X can go through the quantum net, which is Aquarius, which is the Aquarian mind, which is the Hermes, which is also Thoth too, which is what you think, you become. You become what you think. This is the laws of nature. This is the laws of Thoth. But it's not just a being. It might be a collective of beings. So this terminology, this technology is coming into fruition for us to know. Aquarius is for us to know so we can activate more of our remembrance. The more we remember, the more we will see, we will feel the unseen of the heaven and earth gates here in this earthly plane.
Okay. Now, I think the Emerald Tablet talks about these gates, if I'm not mistaken. And are there technically like guardians? Because I grabbed the book and I didn't crack it open yet. I'm going to read it. I wanted the original one. I also have Billy Carson's version. I wanted to read the original before I read his.
I highly recommend reading the original before you read Billy's.
Yes, and I have both, and I want to be able to do a comparison. But you've read it, so if you don't mind, was there anything about guardians or protectors or anything along those lines?
It is a thing with guardians, and it's a thing called the 7 Lords of Cycles. The 7 Lords of Cycles are supposed to be the time gatekeepers, the 7 heavens, the heaven kingdoms, how everything was completed on the 7th day. All these are the deeper symbolism of the 7 Lords of Cycles. They even have a show that talks about this, and the show is called Loki with the time gatekeepers.
TVA.
Which Loki is also Enki, one of the beings of the Anunnakis. So they have gave us bits and pieces of the information, because with the laws of nature, they have to give us bits and pieces. Now it's for us to have the absolute truth, to see the full puzzles of this full truth with this 7 Lords of Cycles. So the 7 Lords of Cycles, they're deeply time gatekeepers to protect all timelines. So anything that's a significant event that's going to alter all timelines, that's not serving the highest good, the timekeepers would actually come in almost where Mandela effect will happen. It will shift things, so it almost where it did not happen. So this is why we even have the quantum Mandela effect here in this reality, where you will see that Fruity Pebbles look like this, but in other times it looked like this. You got Nelson Mandela that you look like, hold up, I thought he died, but I'm like, he's not dead. So this is the quantum timeline. This is getting us to see that we don't live in a linear time. We live in a quantum multi-dimensional timeline. Every time you have a thought that you're going to think, I'm going to do A or I'm going to do B, even just having a thought, you created that reality. You created that. So that's an alternate timeline. So us understanding timelines, the Lords of Cycles, these guardians, it was helping us to understand how we can move through space and time, but also move in this earth timeline at the same time.
Wow. All right. So are these timekeepers kind of keeping certain timelines? Because that's kind of like, all right, because in regressions, when I regress certain people, I have forms of consciousness that claim to be from the future. and they claim to be from the future, possessing certain people in the now so that their future becomes possible. So, is it possible that some of these timekeepers are trying to keep a certain time of, let's say, clarity, a time of humans or superhuman ability, a time of transparency, like maybe time markers or time points that humanity strayed away from or buried and now are rediscovering or reconnecting to? Any thoughts on that?
So my thoughts on that is, from my interpretation from what you're saying, I feel like they allow things to happen that's supposed to happen.
Okay.
If it's nothing that where it doesn't decease the universe or does not really serve the universe, I don't, from what I read and how I interpret it, if they need to interfere or intervene, they will. If not, if everything is aligned for the collective, for the wisdom, and for the awakening, they're going to allow it to completely happen. But if it's something that cannot happen, if they need to intervene, they will intervene.
Wow. Okay. So I'm reading a book right now. It's about an alien interview. She interviewed basically the feminine humanoid that was down at Roswell, and they said that they were here to monitor the explosions that we were doing, which would have been like the Hiroshima, those nuclear bomb testing. They came to monitor the activity, but also some they basically considered that they are part of something called the domain, and some of the domain's technology that was left here was taken. So they came here to investigate who the fuck stole who stole our tech. And they got hit by a lightning bolt. That was the crash of the Roswell. But basically what sparked that thought was they said that they came here and they only intervene like when you say when there are things like humanity does something that can affect the all, they're intervening. All right. And then it also is said that sometimes they intervene to gear humanity towards a certain revelation. So when I thought of that, I was like, I call it, I don't want to use the whole word, but vid-19, what we dealt with in 2020. Could vid-19 been one of these interventions, like what you're kind of saying, like they give us what we can handle, and like, because think about it, it was a reset period, it was a cocooning period. I mean, there's a lot of things that people have. There, put it like this: people pre-vid versus post-vid. Some people are completely different. Some for the better, some for the worse.
Correct. Because this is the great shift. So we're going to explain more into what this means deeply. 2020 was a time of one of the spark awakenings where we needed a great reset, where we didn't need to work. We needed to be at home. We needed to activate our inner world. We had to go deep within. And whatever we needed to see, it was revealed deeply. Some people died in this time because they're not supposed to move in the heaven on earth timeline. Moving to the heaven on earth timeline, you have to be at a certain frequency. You have to be at a certain vibrational frequency. And that's moving in the heart, baby. It's the heaven, the head on earth. If you moving through the head, the Aries head, the ego head, you cannot come to new earth. Vibrationally, this is very important. This is why some people died, because there was not vibrationally aligned to keep moving forward. Or some of them, they learned a lesson at that time. They didn't want to move to 5D. Humanly, in their physical, they want to observe it with the all being. However, some people who are still here went through awakenings, like I did. This is when I started tapping into yoga. This is when I was starting to do it every single day. And I only did it to just get more flexible with football. And this is when I tapped into a different level of my breathing. This is when I start to feel like things around my head like this, where I just felt like I was in a flow state. Things became more slower. I was less emotionally reactive, because when you're in tune with your body, you're more in tune with your spirit. So it aligns your mind too, your mind, your body, your spirit. So since 2020, I have been different, where it actually served me. And I understand that it doesn't matter if you have money, if you go into these jobs, you need to know, you need to be connected and be in tune who you are within, because this is a world that it is going to be chaos. It is no safe spaces. Some people don't want to hear that, but it's no safe spaces. It's no safe spaces. You need to be able to operate and be in tune with your inner being, no matter what is the place. We're activating our mental discipline, our mental mastery, because Neptune just shifted into Aries. So with this planetary alignment that's even connected to that planetary alignment in 2020, it's time for us to be bold. It's time for us to be our pioneers. It's time for us to be our original beings. It's time for us to get out that illusion that we're just human and get into our God essence and our being. And then you're going to see more of this shift, more of this transformation of grounding this spiritual essence of who we are in our soul with the physical, then the physical being control over us.
Man, yes, yes, yes. Like, what I got from that, there's so much, but prior to the vid, everyone was using their brain or their mind over their heart. Now we're being heart over mind, willing to be more open to the exploration and the understandings of ourselves. That's why I chose this hat. So like, this is a symbol of the brain, and then each one is a chamber of the heart. So it's like 4 chambers of the heart encased in the brain, because I want that to be the vibration I'm kind of operating from. Being able to see not just with my mind, but with my heart. There's an eye in my heart, just like there's an eye in my mind. And these are the 2 eyes that I'm kind of trying to use to influence these 2 eyes. That's why when I was in Christianity, I always saw Christ holding like the heart with the eye in it. I used to be like, why they always put the heart in the eye in the heart? Like, you always hear about the mind's eye, but you don't really hear about a heart eye. And then as I started to think about it, I was like, damn, the heart's trying to see too. It ain't just the mind.
You own something with that, my brother. And let's pull this back to the halls of Amenti.
Yes, get it.
Tablets with the Akashic records. Let's talk about the North Pole, the South Pole, the red shift, the blue shift, the red pill,
the blue pill.
North Pole, where it snows. That's the here and now. The Northern Lights, Luther Vandross, here and now. That's the vibration of the Northern Lights, the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, the Emerald Heart. That's what the Emerald Tablets of Thoth is really about. That's what it's about, the Emerald Heart. If you want to access the eternal state, the ether state, you have to be in that heart, that art, that E and that A, that Adam and Eve, that atom, electron. The A and the E is interchangeable, baby. You have to be in that heart to align to the vibrational state of heaven on earth, which is the yellow brick road, which is the Emerald City, the Wizard of Oz, the original you is the heart. That's the divine feminine essence of us all. That's a universal brain. That's the infinite intelligence. That's a subconscious brain. In ancient Kemet, we did not even have our left brain. Woo! We didn't have no left brain. We didn't know how to logically understand things. We knew all things, every language, every math, every science, every star. We knew. And we're becoming remembrance that we knew. And now the DNA is ready to awaken, because you see the yellow brick road. That's the solar plexus, the soul gate. If you ain't worked on that inner child, baby, you still got that mommy womb, baby. You still got that daddy womb, baby. You're going to be at a limited state of consciousness. Limited. It is not to attack, is to tell truth. For you to embody source, to embody the creator, you got to get in tune to that solar plexus, the soul gate. It's the soul, it's the yellow, it's the Sunday, it's the Leo, it's the Lyran, the royalty, it's the fifth zodiac. You see, that's the change, that's the freedom, that's the death, that's the rebirth. This is how we move in God form, in real time, in human form. And this is why my consciousness wanted to come back in this timeline that we all remember, because it's nothing like it. It's a never-ending, blissful joy, euphoria, and we're always learning, we're always expanding, because God always wants to transform.
I mean, clearly God was in the eyes. So, and that's the heart. The heart is constantly transforming by learning more. As these individuals enter the city, that's 4 new hearts it got to learn. That's 4 new understandings it's going to embrace inside of the Emerald City. You can see here, these is ice walls. So what's that telling you? Remember, you said up north, that's where it snows. You get past the firmament, you get past the ice dome, you may be able to access the Emerald City. The only way you go to access the Emerald City is to get into your solar plex, which is also a tool of action. I mean, it's so crazy. I mean, from the fact that everything was in black and white, and how it was the first film to get converted into color. That says a lot too, because we were seeing things in black and white, and now we're able to see things in full spectrum or full color. This shit it's crazy how these connections are right here in front of us. And this is the year of Wicked. Everything is on Wicked. It's showing this story over and over and over again, kind of how she became what she became. So crazy. It's just so crazy just to see that this really is an age of illumination. Like you learn that she may not have been as wholesome and glorious as you thought, because they showed that in this version. It's deep. It's just deep to know that we at a time where we're able to kind of have, what was that, the veil? Or you know how Wizard of Oz was hiding behind that illusion and it got pulled back, and we're really seeing God ain't nothing more than you and me.
Yeah. All around the world, the same song.
Woo!
Records. It's the record. The circle of life. Everything's a circle. Everything's a circle. Everything's the 1 and the 9, baby. That's the beginning and that's the end. That's the endless, timeless knowledge. The timeless knowledge. The timeless gems. Source, us, who we are, is always trying to reflect to us how to know, how to remember who you are. They even showed us this in Avengers Endgame. Thanos, Chris, God of War, the purple, the indigo, the psychic, the knower, the infinite intelligence, the Thanos, the 5 sacred geometry symbols, how he can blink, do anything by a blink of an eye, by a snap of a finger. And this is why everybody was against him. But was he really bad? That's a question I want you guys to ask. Or why they put that in the movie, that he was bad. Maybe he was trying to get people to see more, to expand to more, to their infinite intelligence. But who knows? I just want you guys to critically think. In Avengers, they had the quantum technology, Hulk. gamma radiation, anger. But this is when he was in mastery of the anger, that he can activate that intelligence, because how you alchemize, how you transform is through anger. Aries, Super Saiyan, Goku, Krillin, Vegeta, the Super Saiyans. Some people would say they are the Anunnakis. But that's a whole different story. But let's get back into the Avengers. The Avengers is an energy when they had to quantum travel. They literally had to quantum travel. Us going to the energy in that movie of quantum traveling, you see how they shifted all the timelines. They shifted the timelines. And you see how Doctor Strange, the doctor of time, of how he was opening portals through circles. And he said, this is only going to work one time. Attention to detail. So you only got one time, but infinite times. You have one time, but infinite times. I don't want that to go over your head. You got one time, but you got infinite time. So when you feel stuck, you're in a time loop. Or you are in that flow. That's how you figure out you are the one within you, the Neo, the Trinity. You are the one, the Wonder Woman, the Superman. Come on, man, the moon, the knowing, the psychic, the cancer. This is what Avengers Endgame is trying to also show us, of how you can quantum travel. Ant-Man, how we can shift into different things and go into our bodies. These are capabilities that we have because the creator, Stan Lee, said that he got the spark. He got this idea from Africans. So this is not something that's a myth. This is something that is actually real, a real idea from him observing. So if these Africans, these motherland beings, these original beings, these indigenous beings, once they activate their melanin and that DNA awakening in the second coming, who will they be? Who will we be? Because this is a story about all of us. The law of one.
Man, glad y'all here today too, family. For sure. For sure. For sure. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Literally his story. Facts. Facts. What's interesting is we're now approaching Avengers Doomsday. Now, one of the focal points, I mean, just seeing here in the imagery, right here, you see who's in the middle. This is the Fantastic Four. Over here, Fantastic Four.
The heart chakra 4.
And you know what the fourth chakra from the crown is, right?
What is that?
All right, so we got the crown, we got the third eye, we got the throat chakra, we got the heart. So the 4 is going to connect to the heart space. All right. Now we also got to talk about Mars. All right. We got Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. So when we invoking this 44 to 44, we got to know we're talking about the heart and we're talking about Mars. Now, if you pay attention to Mars, Mars would be our past. Mars would represent desertion. The Fantastic Four wasn't involved in the glory of Marvel. They were in the series when no one watched it, when people weren't really fucking with the original OGs of the comic book. Get what I'm saying? So it's like, it's all showing the symbology that we're about to focus back on our past. Doomsday is showing the importance of the past and how our past is going to save us, how it's going to stretch around the globe. He's a stretch man. Remember, when I was growing up, they used to have this thing where you used to stretch his arms. There used to be like a superhero type dude, and you stretch.
Exactly.
So remember, if you have 4, you're talking about the heart, but we're talking about stretch. So can you stretch your heart to even go beyond the day of doom? That's what you see the color they using. What color we seeing right now? Green out the ass. Green. Green. Venus. I mean, I just pulled up the random image.
The emerald.
Get it? So it's just validating. That's what I'm saying. It's validating. We're in the time of the Emerald City. We're in the Emerald City, family. We're in Oz.
Kick in the door. We're in the 4-4.
Right. We're in the heart of Oz. That's what I really want us to conceptualize. Because another name for Oz is Azazel. And Azazel will be considered another name for Kronos or Saturn. So if we're in Azazel, we're in time. And you're literally in the heart of time right now. So you can influence time now more than any other time.
Y'all hear it? Y'all hear it?
Your doomsday.
Y'all hear it? Y'all hear it? Kick in the door, wait in the 4-4, the 8, the as above, so below, the Aries. It's the rulership of Mars. It's the planet of action, the planet of militant. This is a time where we need to get militant for real, like for real. The biggest human psychology we struggle with is consistency. We struggle with consistency. So we use this planet of Mars and have that spark and be committed and with determination and the discipline, which the D is the energy of the 4. This is activating our immortal being, the foundation of the stability of how we need to move as human, because collectively we are weak.
Ooh.
We need to be able to feel. But together we are strong. Ape together, strong. So this is why we need to get into our soul, then doing the things that we just being told. This is very intentional. This is very important. It's very intentional that we get in our heart with our mind to activate our universal heart and mind. This is the heart of Oz, the Emerald Tablet. It is time for us to align to this purpose, this new foundation, this new stability, because Mercury and Venus are also in retrograde. So yes, we are knowing, or we are moving to our new identity, but this is also the timeline that we need to really reflect and think before we fully move boldly. So be attention to detail, because this is what the Venus in retrograde and the Mercury retrograde is showing us. So it's going to reflect of the past of how we communicate. It's going to reflect of the past of how we was loving ourselves. It's going to reflect of the past of past relationships, of what we needed to learn from that we forgot, or we didn't really learn that lesson from. The more you use these retrogrades to rethink, to remember, and to reflect in this hermit, but you're also moving consistently in momentum, but you're moving in the slow is pro. Slow is pro. This is the key. Not moving too fast, because that's not when you're attentive to details, but you move in slow, but you keep moving consistently and you reflect. This is how you move as a master calmness being in this chaos external reality. This is how we can shift the timeline, how we can bring the heaven on earth into a consciousness where we can see it, feel it, and we all embody it deeply. So this is what the Neptune in Aries, this is the Mercury retrograde, this is the Emerald Tablets, this is the Halls of Amenti, this is Akashic Records, this is the Thoth, this is the Hermes, this is also the Astrology. It's all of it. It's all of it. All of it is true. All of it is the terminology. All of it is a universal language of how we need to move from our infinite self for you, and for me too, because it's the vibration of we, the law of 1, 2.
All right, let's I actually seen a couple of different questions we go pop up, because we had about an hour and 10 to 15 minutes for today's live. All right, so we go try to get a few questions in before we sum it up. All right, so here's the first one. You can see it.
Adewale, I know that the heart is the vortex in operation and function, but how can we use this energy of the vortex to advance? This is a great question, my friend. So what is the vortex? We're going to deeply just talk about this simple. It's funny that we have this right now. So it's a person named Abraham Hicks. If you know about her, I want to recommend Abraham Hicks. This is the foundation that I move in, that I want to encourage you and the person who's asking this to move in this. Abraham Hicks is a person who talks about the law of attraction. This is the foundation how you can create vortexes, or you can create your vortex. How do you create your vortex? You create your vortex by understanding this emotional guidance. We all have emotions, Smokey. What is the emotional guidance that you are on? The number one emotional guidance that we can have is joy. Joy is the key. So when you're creating things, you're creating books, you're creating music, you're trying to create just for the day, you want to activate the joy vortex frequency. You want to play music, or you want to get in a meditative state that activate the joy frequency. Activating the joy frequency, this is how you create the vortex, where you're being the source being, the infinite being. Moving in this is how you move as a walking vortex. And when you walk as a vortex, you move as an architect. When you move as an architect, that means you are vibrationally anchoring, vibrationally embodying, shifting timelines. You are a timeline shifter. A person who is doing this, no matter if you like it or not, is Elon Musk. He is moving as an architect. He is shifting the collective timeline. So how can I tap into my Elon Musk? Joy. And create the vortex. No matter what you do, you're trying to create something with your wife, create the vortex. You about to do a podcast, create the vortex. Moving in this is going to help you. Foresight 10 and everyone else who's listening to this.
Someone asked, are we receiving downloads? I felt it. I never felt that feeling before.
So when she says are she saying receiving downloads from what we're saying now?
I think so. I think that's what she's implying.
Okay.
She did write this earlier, which I want to acknowledge. I'm feeling something going through me after 5 days of anger, sadness, and no eating.
5 days. Okay.
Any advice you got for that?
So you said going through at the 5 days, and you said no eating. So you've been fasting for 5 days. So since you've been fasting for 5 days, this is some Kabbalah teachings. So what you're going through is you're going through a shift, a state that all the darkness, all the ego, all those negative things, they are releasing out of you. The lower emotions, the lower entities, the anger, the sadness, the no eating, this is giving your body to the energy to reset. When you are resetting, you want to make the body empty, because the body naturally heals. So your body is naturally healing right now. What you want to do to align to something different, to align to happiness, go outside, go get you some sun, and just be outside for 10 to 15 minutes and just breathe in the sun. And this is how you're going to get the sun vitamin D that you need from what you're alchemizing from not eating for 5 days.
Yes, OMG, yes. That was received. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. All right, I got another one here. Do you do numerology, Adewale? All right, yeah, you got that question.
In terms of numerology, destiny, psych, etc., would you say that at some point you're able to transcend your bad love or unalignment what's written for you if you're manipulating your frequency? This is a very powerful question. Yes, you can. And I'm going to speak from some experience so you can deeply understand. So my destiny number in numerology is 7. My son name is 7. I had 7 relationships before my wife. My wife has 7 relationships before me. Even the address that we lived at when we first met each other was 7. The address that I lived before I met her was 7. So all these energy of 7, and the more I became more awakened, I was able to shift my reality of my emotions, of shifting to being more emotionally intelligent, more emotionally in tune, than being more emotionally chaotic. When I was younger, I used to feel like I was cursed. I used to actually say, when I used to play football and I was in Utah, I'd be like, I feel like my life is cursed. And I feel like so many things would happen to me where, let's say I'm in Utah, I would travel to somewhere 2 hours, my tire would get flat, or I wouldn't have money. I would get a ticket. All these things were like, when I say things would just happen, my first time even moving to Utah, in the first workout, I didn't even finish the workout that the coach like basically said, if you don't get with the program, you're going to get out the program. And even in my friends group, I was known to being a person that everything was always happening to me. They like, Wale is always in some shit. So me giving you this information, I want you to know, is because that's what I was thinking. It's what I was thinking. Me being not in the energy of knowing who I was and just having these thoughts and not being consciously aware of my thoughts, this actually was shifting me of me being that chaotic reality where I was like, fuck, I cannot catch a break. 2 near-death experiences coming from lack. I was just like, I just cannot catch a break. But once I changed my mentality and I see that, you know what, these are not happening to me. This is actually happening for me. These darkness of things that I'm going through, and the fact that I can still be happy, I can still put myself out there, I can still be that light. That means I have a higher light than I'm experiencing through dark. So that means if I intentionally move through this, consciously move through this, now I can use these lessons from the past and see how I can help others to transform, and now how I can intentionally transform my life instantaneously. So once I shift into that reality, I see how my money start to change, my relationship with my wife start to change, the relationship of how I communicate with my family start to change, the way how I move in my business start to change, where things start to flow. Things are more of ease and more than grace than more chaos. So yes, this is how you can manifest and manipulate your numerology. And this is you tapping into the positive of the number of your destiny than being the negative of your destiny number too.
Facts. I mean, some people will look at it. You're 7 and Aaron's 7, 2 sevens together kind of create a frame, a box. And some would be like, oh, I don't want to be boxed in. But what if this is creating a frame, a moment, a stillness? Get it? It's what you observe this as. I mean, it's a box to some, it's a cocoon to others. Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that. That's why it's important for you to really have an open perspective. Don't limit how you want to experience existence. And that's usually what happens when someone tells you how you should see things.
Absolutely.
Kids who grow up with racist parents, they grow up racist and they don't even have an idea why they're racist. You sit down and have a conversation with the racist and they don't even have a real reason to say why they hate you. It's just programming. So some of us have been born here at this time to defy our programming, to be an anarchist to the programming that's been placed to us by ancestors, by past versions of us, etc., etc., etc. You know, get out the box. Get out the box.
Aquarius, live out the box. Time for it.
Yes. Yes. Very much so.
Yes, indeed. Aaron's husband.
There you go. I was waiting for you to correct it. I was gonna hit it.
Aaron's husband.
Husband. Ain't just some dude. Baby daddy, husband, you know what I'm saying? There's titles here.
It's a different tier. It's a different vibration than dude, boyfriend.
All right, we got one more question. One more question. Here we go. Donald. All right. Question. How do you feel from past trauma of hurt? Or how do you heal from past trauma of hurting people through stealing, robbing, selling drugs to my people? How do I heal? What you got?
I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. You need to hit that forgiveness ritual for you.
Woo!
For you. It is not one person in this universe that have not done something dark or negative. Everybody got a positive and a negative. You cannot have negative without positive. So you have to give your past grace and stop holding shame of the past. Whatever you did in the past is supposed to help you now. It ain't supposed to. I used to steal things when I lived in Las Vegas, when I have no money and I had to eat. I had to do what I had to do. And I don't feel bad about that. I already forgave myself. I already talked to Source about that. Like, listen, it's either I go get this chicken from this store and I get the hot chicken, I just walk out, or I can't eat. So I had to go through that experience, and me going through that experience had taught me million resiliency. You don't ever have to have money. You can always have money. You just need to do things intentionally and stop being a little boy. So things I had to learn. These are things I had to learn. So use these things as wisdom lessons, not shame aspects of it.
Yeah, for sure.
So to answer your question, forgiveness. That's the key. Forgive yourself and use this as lessons and blessings, not for you to look down at yourself and be mad and feel like you need to be fixed, because that in a ripple effect makes you to overthink and feel like you are broken.
Aaron says your actions are based on your level of consciousness. You can forgive that past version of yourself for not knowing, plus believing in lack. That's a double team right there. Both were very, very well explanations. Yeah, I mean, you got 7 billion plus people on this planet right now fighting for survival, but we all ain't fighting for survival for the same reason. I'm fighting to survive to make sure that I can help the future, to help the planet, to uplift, to continue humanity, to keep to hold on what it means to be human, which is a journey, which is you're going to have highs and lows, and that's a part of the experience. It's going to be a time in the future, 1,000 years from now, the construct we know as human won't have highs and lows, especially based on the technology and where we're going as a society. So someone has to hold on to the highs and lows, the goods, the bads, get it? That's your journey. That's your story. That's what makes you you. So don't ever discredit you for having a journey, for having a path, and then learning from that path that you've had.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. You want to use your darkness to alchemize into light. The more darkness you have, the more light you have. So you want to always see the polarity. It's always a tails, and it's always a heads. It's a heads to a tails. So who do you want to be? Because you can make the choice to stay in the dark, or you can make the choice to move fully in the light. Who is the original author of the Emerald Tablets of Thoth? We should buy. Oh,
yeah, that's what I saw that comment. You have the book? If not, I'm about to look it up real quick.
Yeah, you should look it up. I don't have the book right here. It's in my closet.
All right, hold on, because I just got it. All right, this is the one I snatched up.
Yeah, that's the person. Mm-hmm.
The Atlantean by M. Durrell.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's him.
All right. For those of y'all who want to snatch that up, that's the book. That's the book. That's the book. Man, I needed to hear this too, family. I ain't even gonna lie. I needed to hear this too. More love, more life. Exactly. As without, as within. Exactly. Just our process of alchemy within us brings the effect. Facts. Facts. Facts.
Alchemy is the key, man. It's the key to the ascension journey for all of us. This is what Dragon Ball Z was trying to show us. And I deeply understand that I didn't know that I was doing, but now I understand from me seeing patterns within myself. So, Super Saiyan. Let's talk about the symbolism of Super Saiyan. When Goku at the beginning of Dragon Ball Z, and if you want to pull this up so people can kind of see this so they can get the visual.
Yeah, I'm about to.
Dragon Ball Z at the beginning when he was fighting Frieza. I want you guys to see what was the effect of what even activated the Super Saiyan within him. Frieza killed his friend.
I can't pull the video up, but I could show an image of
yeah, just show an image. That would be fine. I'll be able to give the information. But like I was saying, the energy of Frieza, that's Goku in his Super Saiyan, the energy of Frieza killed Goku's friend, and him killing him activated a different energy of Goku. Goku, his first hair is just black, but after he said, "You're going to pay for this," his hands start to shake. He closed his grips. The ground started to shake. You start to see the elements start to shift. What's what he's doing? He's alchemizing. He's shifting the energy. He's transforming anger into something light.
Wow.
This is why he is yellow. And then once he became into that form, what did his eyes do? His eyes started to roll to the back of his head. When your eyes start to roll, that is DMT. That's the psilocybin. That's the shroom that is actually within you. So this is him tapping into his infinite form. He is tapping into his infinite form, which is Kundalini. It's the symbolism. This is the actual practical teachings of how you alchemize and you transform and you activate your superhuman, just like Goku.
Damn. All right, hold on. Let me show y'all what he looked like before he goes super. All right. See, right here, dark hair.
Dark hair. Original form. Just normal. But the more this sparked something in him, someone died that he loved, it transformed him into another being, a Super Saiyan. Wow. Where he's moving more through instincts, he's more stronger, he's more embodied, he's more in the solar, he's more in the solar plexus, he's more in imagination, he's more in the inner child, he's more in his real self, because the inner being and the inner child is your real self. So this is what Goku, which is an animation, and if you understand planes, the first plane, the original plane of everything, is animation. So this is animation showing us this is who we are in the fighting of martial arts. We all have this capability. And they even show this in Black Panther with the vibranium. When they take the vibranium, they tap into their martial art, but the vibranium is also shrooms. When in ancient African time, they would take shrooms and they actually would go fight and do things and go protect the village. So doing these things and understanding these things from the past, but also from the show, this is what we can do in this time and bring the past into the now to activate the future from within us, which is a quantum field within us.
Wow. And that actually, this is also what comes to mind when I think of Super Saiyan, if I'm saying it right. It's this guy.
Static shock. Electromagnetic energy. We are all electromagnetic beings. We're all electromagnetic beings. So this is why we need to eat alive food. The more we eat alive food, static shock.
Well, now
electricity.
now we can get into it. I just looked up. Watch this. Watch this. Remember, you just said this is the importance of why we got to eat real food. Get ready for this. All right, hold on. What's this say? Seiyin in Japanese, seiya is formed by rearranging the syllables of the Japanese word yasi, which means vegetable. So it's a code word for vegetable. That's why how you
even Vegeta, vegetable, Vega, lyric.
Eat the vegetables. You want to go Sabi, get it? You want to go Dr. Sabion, eat your vegetables. It makes sense to me. I like playing with words, you know. So
and that's Emerald Tablets also talk about deep things of fasting. When you fast, this is when you access a different level of consciousness. When you fast, I had an experience on my own journey where I had a 7-day fast. And this was a time where I was shifting to a timeline where I was being a football player, but I was shifting the timeline where I just got cut. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm about to do. So I took a 7-day fast. And within that 3rd day, something happened to me in my dream where I became out my body, but my body, I seen my body, but outside my body, but I felt this electrical cord. And I'm like, I don't know what this is, but this is something different. And then throughout those days, I start to see my addictions. I'm like, it's not even the meat that we want. It's the seasoning of the meat. If the meat didn't have the seasoning, I probably wouldn't even eat this meat. So it helped me to see that what we're actually addicted to with the food. I even start to see that like, yo, I'm actually seeing how I feel like more neural pathways is opening in my brain when I'm even talking. I can even be less reactive too, just from the energy of dissecting and not eating food for 7 days. And the Emerald Tablets of Thoth talked about the more you fast, the more you see in the invisible realm. And there's things that he has left here in different pyramids and different stargates that if you fast, you can access the technology. But if you do not fast and that body is not empty and is not fully light, you cannot access that wisdom. You cannot access that technology. So it shows you that fasting and being light and being your real original light, being that breatharian, because we also have an aspect of ourselves where we can just tap into breathing consciousness. This is going to take us where we can access different colors, different symbols, different sounds, different informations here in this earthly plane that Emerald Tablets of Thoth he actually has left, or these beings has left for us.
Look, I'm about to show y'all an image real quick, and these is some of the greatest breatharians out here just by default. I know a person be like, "What?" Like they are. They don't eat. They just
breathe
off of consciousness.
Off consciousness.
These are categorized as the grays. Now, you will look at this and consider these as like almost empty entities. But as I started doing research, I find out there are advanced life forms that do not take on physical bodies. And when they want to have a physical body, they create a doll. And this is a doll. This is it's a suit that they wear. It's something that they put on when they want to be physical. And how they connect to the physical world is through breath. So they are literally breatharians. And some of these energies are getting around us to teach us the power of breathing air and surviving off of air. For example, homeless people are constantly abducted by these individuals. Well, homeless people don't have the convenience of just eating when they choose and having abundance, just like some of the more modernized people in society. So there's times they go to bed with just breath. They go to bed with just water, which is a form of oxygen or breath as well. And that's all they have to sustain themselves. So they're more connected to the breath than us in these buildings and get it. So this is why I see the connection and see the association to this. But you'd be surprised how the grays, and it's not just the grays, because you also got to think of like this computer we have right here. How do you think it survives? It breathes. It has to release the heat. It has to cool itself. Like that is a form of breathing. So this AI, this tech is a form of a breatharian. So it's just to expand the thought process of how deep this goes and why we're getting back to our original self. Others or other constructs that use that original prana, original breath are going to start popping out as well.
Breath is everything. Breath is spirit. Spirit is breath. Even when you take psychedelics, the teachings that they give people is the only thing you have is your breath. So you are breathing, allow everything to be observed because you are an observer of the shrooms, the psychedelic medicine. So understanding these informations of breath, we actually help us to see that like breath is actually consciousness. And KRS-One also had a video or just talking about this of breath is consciousness. And this being in the age of Aquarius, and Aquarius is air, this is the age of consciousness. So we want to tap into a different level of conscious. We have to actually take our breath to a different level of higher breathing, more oxygen. This is why the Wim Hof, or even if you live in Colorado, Utah, Oregon, these places that have high elevations, you actually have to breathe different. You naturally have to access a different level of a higher state, or you cannot sustain that living. Like when I moved to not St. Louis, but when I moved from St. Louis to Utah, it was a deep shift I had to do for the first 12 months. I actually had to breathe different because I used to have asthma, but moving there, I'm like, yo, the elevation is crazy here. That now I don't have asthma no more. I had to take myself to a different level of breathing. But this is when I went to a transformation where I actually used to hate nature. I hated nature. I also looked at people weird that used to do things in nature. That this is actually when I fell in love with nature, moving to Utah and seeing this different loves of life and also different love of even people. And when I say people, even white people, because I had white people who was my roommates and they were so beautiful. And these people gave me a different love that it was like, you know what? I just need to love all people. You know, these people are really genuine people. You know, these people allow me from St. Louis to come to their house in Utah and Salt Lake when I used to have times where I was red shirting. So these people, like they moved with me, that they was like family to me. And this showed me a different revelations of how I need to move in the heart of me. Just me moving to Utah for me living in this elevation too. So,
which is also proof, family, that sometimes your environment could be influencing you and affecting you more than you are aware. And sometimes you got to let that environment go. That house could be in a wrong environment. This kid's school could be in the wrong environment. I know you're saying your kid might have some complications in school. It could be the environment. A simple environment change could change all that, can literally change your perspective. I mean, this man said there was a time that he hated nature, and now he has a better relationship with it than he's ever had. So, I mean, we're about to do a retreat in June for men out in nature. Get what I'm saying? So this is showing, and I won't lie, me and Adewale, we have a strong ape connection, a mammalian, large mammal connection. And some of the traumas that happen to us in nature has kind of got us on a subconscious level, not to fear it, but to be triggered by it sometimes. So the fact that we're getting back out in nature, same for me, I was a homebody. but I'm out rollerblading. I'm out doing forest trails. I'm sitting by rivers eating lunches. Like, I'm getting past some of the triggering aspects of what could have happened out there in the nature. And I want a lot of you to know that those are the things that happen as well. These are subconscious memories. These are subconscious implants that have been planted into this incarnation. It's like Brother Rich says he has a huge phobia of water. That's a subconscious implant that came from a previous existence.
Correct. Karmic
memory. Got to work through it. He got to work through it. He got to work through it. You cannot let that phobia get the best of you. And we as brothers can help each other do that. And that's why I'm supporting his reconnection with nature, and he's supporting mine. And that's why we're doing a retreat out in nature.
Absolutely, man. The nervous system is connected to nature. The nervous system is the tree of life. So to access our channeling, our ability, our infinite intelligence ability, we got to get in tune with nature. Even with someone saying with Planet of the Apes, hey, the Caesar, the A, the E, man, that Caesar, man, it's some deep symbolism with Planet of the Apes. Ape, what do you say? Ape together strong. Ape together strong. Ape along weak. Mm-hmm. The symbolism of the hands, the symbolism of his posture, of even how he when I watch movies, I'm really intentional of detail of movements, their sound, their vibration, because movies, there are hypnosis. When you even learn hypnosis, what do they tell people? Look at a screen. 3, 2, 1. They don't do 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. So when you go watch a movie, what do? They get you comfort, food, comfort, tourists. So you can receive the tourist feel, and then they do the 3, 2, 1. And then they show you the movie that goes into your subconscious. So when we see these movies, we can see it as symbolism, because these creators, these writers, what you guys think they're doing? They're channeling. They're channeling information. They're channeling something, no matter if it's high, no matter if it's negative, whatever you want to look at it, they're channeling something for you to see. And in the movies Planet of the Apes, they were showing us the ape form in all of us. But that's also talking about, it also brings some symbolism of the Darwin theory that is an illusion, but it's also bring a different polarity of what an ape is, and what the interpretation of what I received from that movie, Planet of the Apes, that is an actual planet, but they're not animalistic beings. They might be like that in a movie, but they're showing a place of apes from a different state, and they're at a different conscious. Some people will say that's planet Mars. This is also the connection to King Kong. So looking at these movies and seeing that everything is symbolism, everything has meaning. Once you understand words, you understand language, you understand sounds, you understand the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4. Everything's are in 4s. That's even how even people rap. And you understand this is a sound universe. This is a harmonic universe. You will see the symbolism, meaning of everything and what it's trying to show you and what it means for you on your path of life, because you are the creator of your life.
Man, such right. So I have came to a conclusion what some people consider to be Bigfoot would be a version of the Neanderthal, and that the Neanderthal was the original ape man that they tried to release from our historical systems. And what we consider to be Neanderthal were the ones that were responsible for like the Lemurian technology that is under the pyramids right now and all the other stuff. It's ape tech. It's just we haven't gotten the credit because of allegedly the apes were the first ones to kind of create a civil war amongst themselves. And
the apes, the war,
yeah, it's why it's yeah. But nevertheless, thank you, Adewale. Thank you. It's been an exceptional live. we got to get you back. I know we want to set up a live where you do more like the questions and you ask me stuff. So I'm definitely down for that. I don't mind doing that style whenever you're ready, whenever we got some free time. Thank y'all for being supportive. What's the channel again? If we could throw it up there, we want to make sure.
Yes, it's Adewale, my first name, last name, and _11.
Let me see.
Yep. Your first name, last name, _11.
Make sure. All right. So I'm gonna just show y'all it real quick so you know what it'll look like. This is Adewale. All right. Got it right here. It's going to say the Akashic Awakening podcast, Ascension, Astrology Awakening. This is how you know you're on the official site, okay? Boom. All right. Well,
good time, my brother. Good time. Good conversation for real.
We gonna appreciate you. I'm still gonna stay a little longer. I'm gonna build a little bit longer. I'm gonna kind of give y'all a breakdown of what was given to me in a revelation of what may be the 7 gatekeepers that we talked about a little earlier. So I'm just gonna add that to the live, and then we gonna get out of here together. But appreciate you. I know you got a phone call. I appreciate all that you do, bro. And you know, I'm right here if you need me. All right.
Peace. Thank you for having me. It's just the beginning.
Oh yeah, for sure. Ain't that love? It's love. That's love. All right. So I ain't gonna hold y'all too much longer, but I definitely want to get into the gatekeepers or timekeepers of the halls of Amenti. These are 7 forms of consciousness or constructs that is responsible for making sure that you are truly prepared to access the entirety of oneself. And in order for you to be able to truly tap into the depths of oneself, you kind of have to go through these 7 tiers, these 7 heavens, these 7 dimensions, these 7 aspects of self. So I'm going to go 1 through 7, and I plan on coming back at a later date to kind of do a story that I composed connected to these 7 constructs. But let's get it. All right. So you have the first gate. All right. This is considered the gate of the shadow. The guardian of this gate we often refer to as Lilith. This is a gate that is considered the threshold of the underworld. The goal of this gate is to have you face the suppressed self, to face your abandoned desires, for you to face the rage beneath the smile. All right? The symbol of this first gate is often a black moon, or at times a serpent mirror. The goal of this gate is to be able to develop self-acceptance. The mantra of this gate: deny nothing. Every excelled part of you is a piece of God, piece of source, a piece of goddess waiting to be seen. Gate 2, the gate of blood and fire. The guardian is Skedmet. The location is a chamber of wrath and purification. The goal of this gate is to burn away the illusions, to transmute anger into action. The symbol of this gate is a flaming eye, a lioness crown. The key of this gate is to transmute your sacred rage into divine discipline. The mantra of this gate: you are the flame and the flesh. Burn and rise unconsumed. Gate 3, the gate of death and time. The guardian, Kali. The location, corridor of endings. This gateway is responsible for letting go of attachments, of names, of identities and timelines. The symbol of this gate is a skull necklace and a crescent blade. The key to this gate: be willing to accept the death of your ego. Surrender to the death of your ego. Time devours all, but the soul cannot be eaten. Gate 4, the gate of memory. The guardian, Hecate. Location, the pillar of the crossroads. The pillar of the past, present, and future. The goal of this gate is to reclaim lost lifetimes. You can't gain the new lifetimes if you're still holding on to the old ones. To reclaim lost lifetimes, ancestral gifts, and broken oaths. The symbol of this gate, of this guardian, is a torch, is a triple moon. The key of this gate is to walk the path between realms with clarity. The mantra of this gate is simple: where you've been is who you are unless you choose otherwise. All right? These are the lessons. These are the gates you have to get through for you to truly start to unlock the depths of yourself. Gate 5, the gate of desire and creation. The guardian, Inanna. Location, chamber of the sacred womb. The goal of this gate is to help you reclaim sensitivity, creativity, and inner royalty. The symbol of this gate is the Venus star, is the rose, is the crown of horns. The key of this gate, the goal of this gate, is to help balance sacred pleasure with divine purpose. The mantra of this gate: strip naked before the throne. Only the raw self may ascend. 2 more gates, y'all. Stay with me. 2 more gates. Gate 6, the gate of silence and stars. The guardian, Sophia. The avatar of wisdom itself. Location is the chamber of the cosmic archive. The goal of this chamber is to help tune into higher knowledge, help you tune into higher knowledge, stillness, and divine knowing. The symbol of this gate is the Book of Light. It is the symbol of the spiral. It is the symbol of the Milky Way galaxy. This is why some say we are within the realm of Sophia, because we are in her spiral. Her key goal is to help you realize intuition over information. Wisdom does not come from gathering tons and tons of information. Wisdom does not come from gathering tons and tons of information, from reading book after book after book, downloading lecture after lecture after lecture. No. Intuition over information. Please remember that. Please remember that. Intuition over information. The mantra: in silence, the stars sing. Are you listening? The last gate, the most important one. This is the gate of integration and rebirth. Gate 6 was the gate of silence and stars. Gate 5 was the gate of desire and creation. Gate 4 was the gate of memory. Gate 3 was the gate of death and time. Gate 2 was the gate of blood and fire. And gate 1 was the gate of the shadow. This last gate, the gate of integration and rebirth. The guardian of this gate is referred to as the nameless one. It's you. In this gate, you're in what we refer to as the chamber of mirrors, or the chamber of the womb returned. The goal of this gate is to help you fuse all previous gates into a new self. The symbol of this gate is the Ouroboros. The symbol of this gate is the crystal egg. The ultimate goal of this gate is to help you step into your divine authority. The mantra: you were always the guardian. You are now the final test. You have been able to descend into the halls of Amenti by following these 7 gates. And ultimately, it leads to the initiation into the lost soul archives of Earth. You heard it in your sleep, a humming beneath the earth, a name whispered in no language you know, and yet it feels like your own. You wake beneath the stars, feet bare against ancient sand. Before you, half buried in time, stands a blackened pyramid, cracked but humming with light from within. A voice inside of you says, you are not here to visit. You are here to remember. The entrance awaits you. Do you choose to descend? So I'm getting more into that, but I just want y'all to kind of get a little breakdown, of the feminine essence that dwells in the halls of Amenti, of Amen. So hopefully y'all were able to get something from this live. Appreciate y'all for tuning in on this Sunday. I definitely plan on joining y'all again this week. Shouts out to my brother Adewale. Shouts out to his partner Aaron. Shouts out to Naya. Shouts out to the team. Shouts out to you. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for seeing me. Definitely took notes. Thank you. Just, research that I gather up, especially in these regressions. There's a lot of different information that comes forward in these regressions. So I try to use my opportunity the best I can when being able to relay this information to y'all in a concise way. Facts, Brooklyn, facts. Powerful build indeed. This was amazing. Y'all amazing. Only as good as the energy we receive. So I appreciate y'all. All right, well, I'm about to go grab me some lunch. I appreciate y'all for dialing in. Man, listen, mind blown. Appreciate it. Copper Moon, thank you for chiming in, family. Thank you. Oh yeah, no doubt, David. Shoot, I want to join you in Puerto Rico and get our surf on. I'm trying to come surfing with you in Puerto Rico, just so you know. So I appreciate y'all. Running back from the beginning if y'all came in late. Till next time.